Welcome back to the North Benchwarmers podcast. I'm your new host, Ben Miller, joined by producer Joshua Northcutt, our director, Garrett Jordan, and our new co-host, Colton Smith.
Ben, do you know anything about this?
No, actually, as a matter of fact. As a matter of fact, I do not.
All right. I'm not saying anything because I'm not going to let that happen to me. No. Sorry, bro. I'm good. If he's able to do that to you, I don't want to. No, I'm good. Anything you want, Mr. Host, sir.
Going into the show today, we got NKU Athletics with a weekly recap. We have women's soccer winning 4-1 over Youngstown State. Kylie Anderson showing up with 2 goals, Lydia Self with 1 goal, and Lydia Yordi with 1 goal. The Norse have now won their 5th game in a row. They stand with an overall record of 10-6-1 with a conference record of 7-1-1. They are second in the Horizon League, and their next match will be Senior Day against Wright State.
So, second place, does that give them a bye in the Horizon League? Or is it... Does anyone know? Colton? Is that... Oh, that's yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So, overall, though, just... The women's team, they're absolutely looking really good, and they're in a good spot to potentially win the Horizon League and go to the big dance. So how about that?
That'd be really cool to see.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the big dance when it comes to soccer or any of the sports really outside, football now and basketball. And anytime you can get a chance to go and play in a tournament, it's got to be good for your program. So it'd be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. This women's team, they've been a lot of fun to watch this season. Moving on to the men's, though. They lost 4-1 over the weekend to Milwaukee. They are currently on a 3-game losing streak. They stand with a record of 2-5-7, and their next match, they travel to Indiana to take on Purdue Fort Wayne.
Yeah, we had to work, or a lot of us had to work that game on Saturday, and it was a little kind of a letdown, I would say, like a letdown spot due to it being Senior Day, and you obviously hope to win your last home game. Mm-hmm. Didn't exactly work out that way, but you know what? They got a chance to rebound and go get a big win that is needed.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And last but not least, we have volleyball. They had a two-game series over the weekend at Purdue Fort Wayne in Game 1. Didn't end up really well. They lost 3-1, and in Game 2, they lost 3-2. And also they lost last night to Wright State in the Battle of I-75. They lost 3-0. They are currently on a 4-game losing streak, but their next series, they travel up to Wisconsin to take on Green Bay for a 2-game series. You can catch the action at 7 p.m. on this Friday at 7 p.m. on ESPN+.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of a letdown weekend there as well. Not exactly how you want to be playing going into a tournament coming up soon. So It'll be interesting to see how that turns about for them. They've been talented all year, though, and they've been able to hang around, so there's no reason I don't think they can't turn it around.
Right, yeah. And also, I want to give a shout-out to 2 of our volleyball players. Joy Banks getting her 1,000th career kill, and Tori Houston got her 1,000th career assist. So congratulations to 2 of those players. They are such key players to this North squad, so big shout-out to them.
Absolutely, and not to steal the shine or anything like this, but looking forward to next week. We got a college basketball show coming up because college basketball is right around our corner, and I'll gladly throw it over to Colton to talk college basketball.
Oh, basketball.
Yeah, there it is.
Basketball.
You didn't make it tight enough, man. I was really hoping not to have him on the show all day today.
Oh, yeah.
All right, yeah, but we got the college basketball show coming up next week. We're going to be doing something special for that, but I don't want to spoil it just yet. But I'm really looking forward to talking some college basketball and the excitement that's coming because for the 3 teams that I support, yes, I support 3 teams. Shut up, Garrett. North Carolina, UC, and NKU. It is a very good chance all 3 are dancing come March, and I'm really much looking forward to that. And also, I'm really looking forward to next Friday after NKU beats Purdue, but that's beside the point. Since Colton,
can you imagine?
Yeah, Colton can't react to it though because he is part of his NDA, which I think he's still over there really struggling getting that tape off.
I almost got it.
Does he?
I don't know, but I'll take over the segment while he's trying to rip that all off and figure it all out. So next up, we're going to talk a little bit about the winner's circle as we always do and give our favorite plays of the week or players of the week for the winner circle for me, it's all the tight ends out there, specifically 5 that I hinted towards in our previous show, but all tight ends out there. I believe a record of 11 celebrated National Tight End Day by finding the end zone.
Yep.
Congratulations to all the tight ends out there. As a diva as a wide receiver, but as a offense and defensive lineman. Gotta love them tight ends. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, Josh, great weekend for tight ends over the weekend. But I'm actually going to the Washington Commanders with their game-winning Hail Mary over the Chicago Bears, and I feel like
guys, not to cut him off.
Yeah.
He didn't pick a NASCAR driver.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's a couple weeks in a row now.
All right, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, overall, that's game of the year in my opinion between the Commanders and the Bears, and I feel like with that play, Jaden Daniels has locked up Offensive Rookie of the Year
Definitely should. My wallet would appreciate that.
for sure.
Garrett.
Yeah, so I'm going to go away from the player side of things, and I'm going to go for 10-year-old Zachary Ruderman. Was a kid living in L.A. His parents told him after school that he was going to an orthodontist appointment and surprised him with tickets to Game 1 of the World Series between the Dodgers and Yankees, which is already great in and of itself. And then he decided to go out there and just, catch the walk-off grand slam by his favorite player, Freddie Freeman. So basically just living out every kid's dream when they attend a baseball game.
Excuse me, sir. Kid's dream. I'm a grown man, and I've never caught a home run ball, but I sit out in the outfield hoping to get one day.
Yeah.
All right, okay, so he lives out every man's dream.
There you go. Much better.
Of catching a home run ball in the stands. So good for him, man. That's a great story that he's going to have to share around dinner tables one day.
I'm going to say, can you imagine show and tell that
Right.
day?
Yeah.
Getting to take that grand slam in. Which, did he keep the ball or didn't
Yes.
he? Oh, okay.
He did keep, as far as I know, he kept the ball.
Because I'm going to say, I didn't know maybe if Freddie would want that and would like sign a bat or anything. That would be really cool.
He did say in an interview afterwards that he would like to have the ball signed by Freddie. So we're waiting to see the follow up on that. I'm sure something might materialize after the World Series is finished, but I think for now they're going to focus on winning the World Series.
That's right. And Colton, your
Basketball fans, because basketball is back.
Yeah, and then you get to talk now on the show. So
Yeah, it was a fun first segment, huh, guys? Ben, I really appreciate that. I really needed a kick in the face, tape in the face like that. So, but we're back, baby, and we're here to talk about basketball. So let's talk about NBA, as opening week has officially commenced, as we are on week 2 now. We have undefeated teams. We have impressive starts. We have unimpressive starts. We have also I have a list that I want to give you guys of buying and selling. So let's go ahead and start with the undefeated teams, which now currently stands at 3, but by the time this episode comes out, it could very well be 0. In the West, the sole undefeated team left is the Oklahoma City Thunder. And they are at 3-0 right now. And then you have the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are 4-0 with a win over the New York Knicks. Most recently, they play the Lakers tonight, and I could easily see that undefeated streak ending against the Lakers, but I could see it continuing. And then we have the Boston Celtics, so shocker, at 4-0 with wins over the Knicks. They had another good team they played, but it's not coming off the top of my head right now. And sorry, my head's a little fuzzy from all the tape and stuff.
Bucks. Also, they
Bucks.
beat the Bucks.
Yeah, beat the Bucks, which is a team we'll talk about in our disappointing category.
Yep.
But yeah, what do you guys think about these undefeated teams? I think all of them are legit. I think even the Cavs.
The Cavs, though, looking at their schedule, a little bit of an asterisk. Raptors, Pistons, Wizards. We weren't expecting anything from those 3 teams. However, they did go into New York and beat New York, so you can't take too much from that. And you just got to play the teams on your schedule and keep winning. So we'll see what happens. However, tonight's game, obviously, you will see this Friday, so it already happened. But looking forward to Lakers, Cavs, that matchup tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be fun because the Cavs are a tall, physical team with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley going up against Anthony Davis, who is looking like one of the best players in the league right now, most certainly maybe the best center in the league. And seeing those two like clash, it's going to be fun. I'm definitely going to be tuning in, and I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Yeah, I mean, overall, though, just great to see these teams off to a great start. I mean, but I want to focus on the Boston Celtics here real quick. I mean, from the beginning, though, we knew they were going to be title contenders. I mean, they literally brought everybody back from that not national championship team, that championship team last year. I mean, But game one, though, they were really impressive offensively. I mean, they tied the most three-pointers in a game, which was 29, winning 132 to 109 over the Knicks. And like I mentioned, that three-point shooting was absolutely unreal. I mean, Tatum showed up big. Jaylen Brown showed up big. White, he showed up big. Excuse me. But yeah, overall, though, this offense looks very scary.
I'm about to say, celebrating hanging banner 18 by hitting 29 threes in a game, and then trying to break the record, obviously, because they were up pretty big, and they just kept shooting threes. Boston's good.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll ask you, Colton, and Ben, you feel free to answer this as well.
Okay.
I just tend to lean towards Colton winning it. Can they get close to the record of the Warriors? Are they that good?
At this pace, they are currently on pace for that. So, absolutely, I think they can. Because even on a night where Jason Tatum didn't make a single three, just kind of had a pedestrian day, this team still defeats the Bucks. And I think they definitely have the depth. They have the star power that it takes to go on a 70-plus win game season. If that ends up being a 74-win season, I can't say I'd be shocked. I'll believe it when I see it, but I won't be shocked at all.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at all. I mean, like I mentioned, this talented Boston squad, they have all the pieces to win a championship, so it would absolutely not surprise me one bit.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to talk about some of the top performances before we get into our, who we like, who we don't. The top performance so far this season has by far been, and it hurts me to say this, Paolo Banchero against the Pacers a couple days ago. 50 points, 13 rebounds, 9 assists, and I hesitated on the over. Damn it. Just absolute masterclass of performance against a terrible defensive team that I'll get into in my disappointing teams. Great job by Paolo. This Magic team is also looking really good. But some other performances, Jason Tatum on opening night had 37 points, 8 made three-pointers, 78% from the field. Nikola Jokic against Brooklyn last night had 29 points, 18 rebounds, 16 assists. Absolutely incredible game. But something about that game is that they were down by about 15 to 20 points at one point, and they ended up only beating the Nets in overtime. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 35, 11, and 9. Jokic had another double-double. And Buddy Hield had a nice 27-point game with 7 made three-pointers. I'll give a shout-out to him. A guy you mentioned in our live show, Cody White, had a 35-point bomb against Milwaukee, which leads me to let's talk about some disappointing teams. And I was going to talk about the Pacers.
Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up.
Who wants to
Here
talk?
comes the Pacer hour.
Who wants to talk about the Bucks? Who had anything on the Bucks? Okay.
Yeah. So, it's just been a disappointing start for the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously, I mean, Giannis looks all right. I mean, he looks like he's being his usual self, like we all expect. But I'm a little disappointed with Damian Lillard. I mean, he's been struggling from beyond the arc, though. You don't really see this a whole lot from Damian Lillard. I mean, for example, from the when in the Bulls game, he was 4-19 from 3. I thought that was mind-boggling because, like I mentioned, though, this is his game. Like, he's used to knocking down those big-time threes, though. But so far, it's just been an absolute struggle. So, I mean, the Bucks, if they're going to be a playoff team, though, they need Lillard to perform beyond the arc because they need that three-point shooting.
If you want to be a playoff team, you need to still be able to win without Lillard performing when you're playing against the Nets and the Bulls. Those are two teams.
Don't disrespect the Bulls.
I will absolutely disrespect the Bulls. I hope they prove me wrong. I do like the team that's over there, but I'm not too high on this team. And those are two teams that, for a team that is trying to compete a championship, that should be easy wins. You should not be 1-4 right now, 1-3 right now.
1-3.
And it's just, I don't think Damian Lillard is necessarily the whole problem. I think I would like to point the problem to Doc Rivers as the head coach. The whole reason you got rid of Adrian Griffin was because...
That's my coach of the year, okay?
Yeah, I don't know why you thought that. Adrian Griffin was fired because of a lack of defensive identity, and then you turn around and you can't play defense against the Bulls or the Nets. You let Cody White drop 35 on you. Great player that can drop 35 on multiple teams in the NBA.
Great day to be a Tar Heel.
Yeah. However, you make that trade for Damian Lillard. You know that you're losing the defense. And that's the main issue is outside of Giannis and Brook Lopez, this team has no defense. You have to rely on Gary Trent Jr. Last year, you had to rely on Malik Beasley to put in legitimate defensive minutes, and that's not going to win you games. So maybe that personnel is an issue, but I also think the coaching is an issue because there is no defensive identity here, and it's just ugly in Milwaukee. And I have a little frustration of this because I'm a Damian Lillard fan, I want to see him win a championship. It's not happening in Milwaukee, so please just trade him so I have another hope for him.
Definitely.
I was going to ask if they do have another falling out, because when they fired their coach last year, weren't they like the 1 seed?
They were 35. Yeah, they were 35 and like 17 or 22 or something like that. So they had a winning record and were far and above. Like,
to find a way to keep Giannis happy. I mean, he isn't going to stay in Milwaukee to be a loser. Like, this guy's going to get the notoriety of a big market where money's going to come calling. If you're Milwaukee and it does start looking sour, do you panic mode and try to go get a crazy player or do you maybe start planning ahead of Giannis walking out the door? And again, it's a week in. Let's relax. They'll probably find a way to do something in the East, but
yeah,
I just don't know if they're in the beginning of the year. I didn't think they were good enough to win the East.
No,
I said it was a 2-man race in the East. And I still believe that unless somehow magically Milwaukee finds a good number 3 player, which, I mean, right now their best third player is Gary Trent Jr. Like, that's how he's playing. Not saying he is.
The sentiment is that when Chris Middleton comes back, that'll clean everything up. But I don't think that is – he will absolutely be great. Don't get me wrong. But he's not necessarily – he's a good defender. He's a pretty good defender when he tries. But – yeah, I don't think he's going to come in and just fix all the problems this team has, and he will make sure they make the playoffs, I'm sure, but I don't think this is going to be, especially with a 1-3 start, that's just a rough way to start the season against some easier opponents when you have to start playing against the Magic. The Magic had their number last year. You have to play against the Celtics a couple more times. The Cavs will probably win a couple of games. The Pacers, as bad as they are, tend to have the Bucks number. So, and the Knicks and all these guys, I don't see them winning more than 1 or 2 games against those teams. So you have to kind of rely on these lower games against the Bulls and the Nets, and you don't have those. So enough about the Bucks, though. Who did you want to bring up, Josh?
I was going to ask you about the Spurs. I can't fully go into it. I kind of was just looking at their record, and it's a 1-2 start. They split with the Rockets, and they then lost to the Mavericks. However, Wemby hasn't really had that game that we're all expecting. Are you a little bit concerned about that? Because, I mean, he is averaging still, it's like 20 and 12, which isn't crazy. But is it one of those things we put too much faith into Chris Paul, or do you think it's going to take a little bit of time to form, or do you think Pop's maybe too worried about politics and not worried about basketball?
I would say that's where I would pull the it's week 1 card.
Okay.
It is in San Antonio. I feel like San Antonio, Mavericks is a tough game. The Mavericks, they were in that game until about the midway of the third quarter, and then the Mavs just found separation. Their role players hit shots, and next thing you know, they're up 13 or so. And the Mavericks, they look like an incredibly good team this year. I think they are going to be competing for the top seed in the West. So can't wait for them to have some weird thing happen in the middle of the season because Kyrie's on the team. But yeah, I would definitely pull the week 1 card. I liked what I saw from them. The win against the Rockets, I'm high on the Rockets team, so I think that's still a somewhat impressive win. And yeah, I liked what I saw from that Mavericks game for sure. And I think definitely just week 1.
That's fair. I'm gonna say, like I said, I thought I'd ask. I haven't fully been able to dig into it, but it was just one of the records, and I didn't want to talk all East.
Yeah.
So it was one that I was like, I expected more because I know, Ben, you were extremely high on him. So Are you panicking at all, or is it still one of those way too early because the team needs to form?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's way too early, though, because I just feel like they just need more time to develop, though. I feel like they'll get it all together, though. They'll get all the pieces right with Wemby, Chris Paul, and Stephon Castle, all those guys. So this team, I still got a lot of faith in, and they're still a playoff team.
I have them as a play-in team.
Or play-in team, yeah.
To make an analogy to baseball, the Mets started the season 0-6 and ended up in the NLCS. So, just saying.
Yeah.
3 games into the season, I put no stock in it at all.
Yeah,
I know, but Colton's making me do it, so I have to ask.
yeah. I think there's some more telling things about other teams than others. But anyways, let's talk about the Pacers and I'm not going to take too much time because, to be honest, I'm not legally allowed to watch Pacers games because blackout rules. So I have to pull out my laptop or my computer and pull out Stream East. Josh, I'm not going to talk that long.
Josh is kicked up.
I'm not going to talk that long because I haven't watched too much Pacers games.
I'll believe it when I hear it.
Okay. But the one thing I do know is Tyrese Halliburton is having issues. He's not getting it going here to start the year. He had a solid game last game against the Magic, but your defense let Paolo drop 50, so it doesn't matter. And I think just the main issue with this team is what the issue has been for the past 2 years, and it's defense. So now we have fans shopping Aaron Nesmith, who I think is still an okay defender. I don't think he's a negative defender. I think he was one of the better defenders, at least in the playoffs. But like I said, I haven't been able to watch because blackout rules. God, I hate that freaking rule. Oh yeah, you live near, you're a fan of a team and you live near them. Oh, we wouldn't want you to watch it, or you can pay more than you can for League Pass.
Aren't we blocked out by Memphis too?
Yeah, we're blocked out by Memphis. Yeah,
isn't that like a 6-hour drive?
6-hour drive. It's because we can still get Bally or FanDuel or Fox Sports, whatever you want to call it, south. You know, whatever the name will be next year. But anyways, my rant is probably more so the blackouts because I just want to watch the game and not have to get on Stream East to watch it. But
I thought we condone that.
No, sorry, I forgot that's illegal. Yeah, I would never do that. I would never. I just watch it on an app called anyways, the bottom line is this defense sucks, and until this defense does not suck, we're not going to do good. And that's really all I have to say about the Pacers. We need to make a trade for somebody who plays defense, and that's that. I don't know who it's going to be. Oh, Benedict Mathurin? Why is this dude on the bench? Why is he getting 15 to 20 minutes? I understand maybe coming off the bench, being that energy guy, being that Malik Monk type player, but leave him in the game. He's doing great with what he has. He just can't get a rhythm, and that's just the most frustrating thing. We're starting to think about Rick Carlisle hot seat is starting to be talked about, but it's the first week, so for all means, prove me wrong. Go out there, get a 6 seed, and lose to the Celtics in the playoffs, or the Bucks, or the Knicks, or whoever, because we can't play freaking defense.
All right, well, I'm going to let him calm down for a second and talk about a team that I'm actually pretty impressed with to start this year.
Yeah.
The 2-1 Clippers. Because we were calling them dead in the rights.
Yeah.
And not only are they 2-1, it was a 3-point loss to the Suns. They beat the Nuggets and they beat the Warriors. Those are not bad wins. Talk about another disappointing team. We could have went into the Nuggets, but I'm going to wait on them and see what happens. The Clippers, though, what's going on there? Like, how are they performing so well? Colton, do you have any answer for that, or is it just one of those things where they're James Harden.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. James Harden. He the game I watched, the opening night in the Intuit Dome, or is it Intuit? Yeah, Intuit Dome.
I have to go out there.
That looks awesome. Yeah,
for
the place
sure.
looks really awesome. And the opening night against the Suns, I watched James Harden. It's not like his play style isn't like vintage James Harden. Like, he doesn't have that speed. He doesn't have the quickness that he used to have, but just the finesse, the shooting, the passing. He's leading the league in assists as of last night, and I think he's definitely showing up. And this is a team that is very, very streaky. Like, they have Norman Powell. They have
I was actually about to ask. Norman Powell's averaging 22 points right now.
Oh, I'm telling you, he will have a great couple weeks, and then he will just disappear for a couple. I've had him in fantasy, so I know this. So he'll be great for a couple weeks, and then he'll disappear for a couple weeks and come back. So, and that's kind of the vibe with Terrence Mann and who else is on there?
Zubac averaging 22 and 14.
Yeah, no, he's a great center. Yeah, he's a great center.
Okay, my mind is blown right now. Like that
he
is
said
not
22 though.
Averaging 22 and 14.
22 is kind of crazy. That does surprise me. And 14,
22, 14, and then a block in 3 games. 36 minutes of play, and he's out there getting good minutes. Like holy. Okay.
Yeah, he's always just been kind of one of the more solid bigs in the league for the past couple of years. But hey, if it takes Kawhi and George being gone for him to ascend. But that's my main point on this team is that I have a feeling they will have highs, they will have lows, as they have in recent years, but just more so. It just depends upon it. They have to have Terrence Mann show up. They have to have Derrick Jones Jr. show up. They have to have Norman Powell show up in order for them to be in these games. And I just don't see that consistent for an 82-game season. That being said, they could be a play-in team. They could, I doubt a 6 seed, but you never know. But yeah, I've definitely been impressed, and James Harden has looked good so far.
Yeah, I mean, so far, great start for the Clippers. I mean, I had my concern with no Paul George as he got sent to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yep.
Whatever happened with Kawhi again? I'm sorry.
Just hurt.
Just hurt.
Just hurt.
It's
Okay.
bad. It's bad. Have you heard?
The lawsuit that I guess
Yeah.
his old doctor or it's like his old physician or whatever said like 700 days is what they
700
told him.
days. Yeah, it's the evaluation of how long he should sit out, and they just didn't like that answer, so they moved on.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude was trying to play in the Olympics. I think about 40 days removed from the injury, or like a month or two.
Sounds like we may never see Kawhi again.
I
if
think
that's the case.
I think his career's cooked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely disappointing, though.
It's
but,
sad,
but overall, though, this Clippers offense, they're proving a lot of people wrong. I mean, they're doing a great job forming great chemistry around James Harden to work with, though.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is a team that we might have to keep an eye on because I'm sure a lot of people were counting them out of the playoffs. I mean, we even talked about it in our
Alex
live
Smith
stream.
certainly did.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, those dudes dead to rights.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely proving me wrong. I had them out of the playoffs, too.
Yeah, and I think we all did, but shout out to it. But long season, week 1. Who are you surprised with, Ben?
Surprised? To be honest, I haven't really looked too much into it, but not really sure, to be honest.
Team I would shout out is the Orlando Magic, 3-1 thus far.
That was going to be my next question.
They made the Heat look like a pedestrian team. I thought the Heat season was over after night 1. Jimmy had like 3 points. I mean, this team is very good on defense, and it looks like they're kind of figuring it out on offense. So far, they've been above 100. I think all but the Heat game, maybe even the Heat game. I don't know how that ended.
116, 111, and 119.
Yeah, so above 100 points. I mean, that was kind of a struggle for them last year. They were one of the worst offensive teams. Jalen Suggs has looked solid. Paolo Banchero has looked like all NBA caliber. Franz has looked like that good second player we've been looking for. So, again, it's week 1. We're overreacting. I love overreacting, so that's why I'm here.
Yep.
And I love what I'm seeing from the Magic here in week 1.
And also, just looking at the schedule here, the standings, I actually do have a team that I'm actually surprised about if I can go into detail.
Go right ahead.
All right. So the Golden State Warriors, 3-1.
Yeah.
So overall, though, that's a little bit shocking to me, though, after Klay Thompson departed for the Dallas Mavericks. I feel like Buddy Hield, he's definitely adapted to that position really well. And especially with his performance last night, dropping 22, and I believe he had 7 3-pointers. I believe so.
Yeah, 7 threes.
7 of 11.
Yeah, that dude. I know I mentioned it a couple times, but Buddy Hield is one of the most underrated shooters in the league, and like I said, he's fitting in really well with Steph Curry in this Warriors offense. So I look for them to continue the momentum as we get further into the season.
Yeah, it's a big shout out to the Warriors. I mean, it went over the Lakers. Absolutely. Oh, it's preseason. My bad.
As a side note to that, I saw a really sad video of Curry try to do a behind-the-back pass to a Klay Thompson that was no longer there, and he just smiled and jogged away, and it made me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, sad times. But, I mean, looking through the standings, just a couple of housekeeping things. The Wizards are at 7th. That's funny just because they have a tiebreaker, I guess. But the 76ers are 1-2. They have Joel has yet to play a game as far as I know, unless he recently played a night or two ago.
Wow.
The Knicks are 1-2 with the loss to the Cavs and the Celtics, so 2 good teams, 2 undefeated teams to this point. LaMelo Ball has looked like all NBA caliber on the Hornets. I watched an incredible game against the Rockets. I watched another great game against the Hawks. So if that dude can stay healthy, I think he's absolutely in all NBA talks. The Hornets making the play-in is I had them doing that. I don't fully know this team really outside of LaMelo with Brandon Miller out. It's going to take Brandon Miller staying healthy for them to continuously win. But, and outside of that, looking at the bottom here, the Pistons are 0-4. Unsurprisingly, honestly, with game 1, I did watch game 1 completely legally, and on something called Stream West, which is some reason legal. I don't know. And the Pistons actually looked like a decent team. I mean, they had the Pacers down the majority of the game, and that they ended up losing, and they've just since lost and lost and lost. But they do, to me, from what I saw, they looked like a real NBA team, but obviously that can change. Looking over in the West, the Thunder, Suns, Lakers, Warriors are at the top. The Mavericks, they're all 3-1 and above. So Clippers, Rockets, the Rockets are at 2-2. The Timberwolves are 2-2. Shout out to Timberwolves or Julius Randle for proving me wrong pretty quickly against the Kings. But I still think there are some growing pains that are going to be worked out throughout the season. The Nuggets at 2-2, I'm incredibly disappointed with, but Russell Westbrook actually had a pretty good game last night, like 22 points. So I'll give flowers.
Can I ask you a question? I know we don't doubt him or anything. None of us are quote unquote haters of him. But what LeBron did with the triple double, dude's unreal. Like what he's doing at his age, there's never been a player we've ever seen do anything like this.
Right.
And it's every year. It's just like, how does this guy keep doing it? And now the Lakers are 3-1. Like I said, they got that matchup with the Cavs tonight.
Yeah.
You know he's going to bowl out because he's going back to Cleveland. It's just, can people just stop hating and give the man his flowers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Credit to J.J. Redick. That's the last thing I want to leave that on is credit to J.J. Redick and a pretty outstanding start to a coaching career.
For sure.
I really like the prep and the knowing what the weaknesses were and going around and turning around. And he has Anthony Davis looking like an MVP candidate. But let's go ahead and do a little buy or sell here at the end of this NBA segment. First, so basically what it is, I'll just ask you, do you buy this team? So, for example, the first one here is the Cavs at 4-0. Do you buy this team being atop the East or do you sell that? Do you want to just sell stock where it's at before they start sucking? So, Josh, would you like to start?
For the Cavs, I'm going to hold. Is that fair? Can I see a little bit?
Sure.
But if you're going to make me, I'm going to sell because it's Cleveland. I still just don't. When it's all said and done,
let me rephrase it. Do you buy them being a top 3 team in the East?
Yes, I will buy them as a top 3 team in the East. I am now starting to realize that we talked about it. I do think Milwaukee's window's closing. I think Milwaukee. It's funny. I heard an ESPN conversation talk about it where ESPN prediction at one point, one of the analysts said it's Denver and Milwaukee in the championship this year because they can't imagine a window where these two talented players never play in a championship again. Thing is, I think both windows are closed.
Yeah,
I think the Nuggets are closed, and I think the Bucks are closed. So yeah, I will buy the Cavs as the third best team in the East.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would buy the Cavs too. They're obviously off to a great start though. They got a lot of talent on the squad. You got Donovan Mitchell, you got Darius Garland, you got Evan Mobley though. So a lot of great chemistry around that court though, and arguably a really good trio. So I feel like these guys, they can do a lot of damage in the East this year.
Yep, I buy that as well. I had them in the top 3 to begin the year, and they seem to be proving that so far. All right, buy or sell? Do you buy the Bucks being 1-3, being outside the playoffs, or being a play-in team? I guess we'll put that as with losses to Chicago and Brooklyn, or do you sell that?
I'm not saying play-in, but I do think like the 5-6 seed, I guess, is because is it 7-8 is the play-in,
yes.
Right? 7-8. Okay, so I'll say 5 or 6 seed.
Yeah, I think I would say 5 or 6 seed as well, but they got to get this 3-point shooting figured out because, like I mentioned earlier, Giannis, he's playing like his usual self, but Damian Lillard, we got to get that backcourt fixed up, and he needs to get back to his normal self if they're going to have any chance to make the postseason.
All right, last one here. We have Anthony Davis. So far, 32.8 points per game, 12 rebounds per game, 2.5 blocks per game, and 1.5 steals per game. Do you buy or sell him being an MVP candidate?
Go ahead first, Kentucky guy.
Obviously, yes. Like you mentioned, he's off to a fantastic start, though. He's doing a great job with leading this Lakers squad and at the leadership of J.J. Redick, though. So I feel like they're arguably the best team in the West right now.
I know y'all said he still played 70-something games last year, but I need to see it more often. I'm still going to sell him being an MVP candidate because of health.
Yeah, it being a week 1, health, and just a new system and all that, yeah, I'll probably sell it. But
don't kill us, Alex.
Yeah, please don't kill us, Alex. I hope AD gets his redemption, but Alex is pretty much accepted. I hear him saying, like, well, they can't even give him a DPOY, so they're not going to give him an MVP. Dude, if you average this for the year,
oh, yeah.
you absolutely are MVP. So But let's go ahead and move along to trivia, triple threat trivia. Garrett, apparently you have something interesting cooked up over there, so let's hear what you got.
I do, yeah. I was originally going to ask a question about baseball, then that was asked from the show, so I had to find a new one really quick.
Dude had it pinned up frustration from that.
I did. I was a little upsetty.
Womp womp.
Yeah. So my new question for you, I searched sports trivia stumpers online, and this was my favorite question that I found. This is an NFL question. So who was one of the only teams in the NFL to feature a live human as their official mascot?
Chiefs.
Not the Chiefs.
Vikings? Let's go.
I knew it. Once I said it, did you see my face literally leave my body?
Let's go.
It was Ragnar the Viking.
Yeah.
Ragnar the Viking did not renew his contract at the end of the 2015 season with Minnesota and was replaced by their current mascot, Victor.
Victor?
Yes, their Viking mascot is named Victor.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That the copyright infringement is crazy.
Look up a picture. He looks pretty similar too.
Yeah,
he
they must
actually-
go to the same barber.
It really
huh?
does.
That's great. Well, I'm glad I finally got him back on the damn board. Jeez, a face.
You just letting those loose words slip right now. That D word just keeps coming out.
It's a
family-friendly show, sir.
It's Call of Duty. I blame Call of Duty. Brings it out in me.
That just dropped, by the way, so make sure you're dropping Kyler from your fantasy teams.
Hey, Kyler, first week since Call of Duty came back, had his second best week of the year, so shut up.
Still a gnome.
Yeah, whatever.
First place gnome, but still a gnome.
Let's move right along to the NASCAR playoffs. Quite a bit has happened since we last talked about it, since we came to be like on and off recently. But we were going to talk about these next couple weeks because after
a couple of weeks. I mean, it's literally 2 weeks,
2
my
weeks,
friend.
yeah.
And it just hit Colton. Did anyone else see the soul leave Colton? Colton basketball.
Yeah, so results and race recap. You got that over there, Ben?
Yes, sir, I do. All right, so over the weekend, NASCAR, they were in Homestead, Miami, with Tyler Reddick punching his ticket to the Championship 4 in Phoenix, joining Joey Logano. Coming in second, we have Ryan Blaney, our defending Cup Series champion. Denny Hamlin in third, Christopher Bell fourth, Chase Elliott fifth, William Byron sixth, Alex Bowman in seventh, AJ Allmendinger in eighth, Carson Hocevar in ninth, and rounding out the top 10 is Ryan Preece. And the rest of our playoff drivers, Kyle Larson in 13th. What's that?
Described. Garrett cut to me while I was trying to get something out of. Oh no! I was trying to get something out of my eye.
Okay.
I bet.
But yeah, Kyle Larson finishing in 13th, and Colton, this will put a smile on your face. Joey Logano in 28th.
Oh really? So
Yeah.
when you're not on a super speedway and he doesn't have a BS strategy, he can't perform well. What? No way.
Garrett, is this where we still tell him that Logano's still one of the final four no matter what?
Oh, I know. I'm aware.
Just making sure.
I'm just saying he will not deserve
Cope.
this championship he's going to win.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! I should have bet this months ago.
All right, so getting into the race recap, on lap 47, trouble for Kyle Larson, blows a left rear tire, and he got sent to the back of the pack. And Tyler Reddick winning stage 1. And guys below the cut line, Hamlin, Elliott, and Blaney, guys that are in desperate need of a win if they're going to punch their ticket to Phoenix. Obviously, Denny Hamlin winning stage 2. And the last set of green flag pit stops, Reddick, he stays out, tries to do something a little bit different. And unfortunately, it doesn't pay off for him as he had to pit. But with 13 laps to go, though, Kyle Larson was battling with Ryan Blaney with 13 to go. And Larson goes out and spins, which was a huge break for Tyler Reddick, as he was able to stay out and take the lead on that last restart. But that last restart, though, we got Hamlin, Blaney, Reddick, and Elliott. And like I mentioned before, these are all guys that are in a must-win situation. But at the end of the race, though, it got pretty intense. I mean, you got Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Reddick battling it out. And this is the thing that shocked me, though. Reddick went from third to first on the last lap with 2 lap older tires compared to Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney.
It was a beautiful slingshot.
Yeah.
that finish or the last, I guess, 2 laps was fantastic. That
Yeah.
was beautiful racing. Shows that we don't need that overtime bullcrap. Keep your flag in your pocket there, NASCAR.
Preach.
But no, a beautiful driving by all 3 drivers. Clean driving by all 3 drivers.
At the best mile and a half in the sport.
I'm gonna say all three lanes were used. I want to say Reddick went low, Hamlin went high, and Blaney was in the middle. I want to say, if I'm remembering it correctly, but it was beautiful driving by all 3 drivers, all well deserved, and it's a shame that probably 2 of them right now are on the outside looking in.
Yeah. And also, back to Tyler Reddick real quick. I mean, this was a must-win for him this weekend. I mean, going into Martinsville, we know that was not his best track, but it was a great redemption for him with everything that he's been through in the playoffs. I mean, Las Vegas was definitely a letdown race for him. I mean, he ended up on his lid, comes back the next week, and wins at Miami and is going to Phoenix to compete for his first championship and possibly give MJ his 7th ring.
Hey,
And think about that
and
way.
more importantly, though, to give you bragging rights for not only college basketball, because you called that. Okay, we really got to stop doubting him when it comes to championships, because he called college basketball.
Yep.
I believe you called the NBA championship.
Yes. Celtics.
Okay, I believe you called the Dodgers at one. I need to know who's winning the Super Bowl. We need to talk later. But no,
I
go
think
ahead.
preseason.
It's
I
okay,
think,
though, because Logano's going to win it.
I think preseason though. I picked the Lions. If I'm, I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair
Please.
Good to know. I mean, well, anyway, back to NASCAR.
Yeah.
Just looking at the standings, as you said, Reddick and Logano are both locked in. Christopher Bell is plus 29 from the cut line. William Byron plus 7. Kyle Larson minus 7. Hamlin minus 18. Blaney minus 38 and Elliott minus 43. So, Mr. Chase Elliott fan, does he have a chance at all? Let's be honest, not fandom, please. I'm going to take that as a no. All right.
He absolutely has a chance. It's Martinsville. He drives for Hendrick Motorsports. Martinsville is one of his better tracks. He has to win to get in, obviously, but I absolutely think he has a chance. This is a race that he showed flashes at in the spring. He showed flashes at last year. So, yes, I absolutely think so.
Fair enough. Blaney, does he have a chance?
I think he does. I mean, he runs really good at short tracks, especially with Martinsville. As a matter of fact, when you go back to last year, when they came into Martinsville, Ryan Blaney was in a must-win situation. What's he do? He goes out and wins Martinsville, and he ends up winning the championship the next race. So, absolutely, Ryan Blaney, he's used to these kind of moments, so I definitely feel like he has a chance.
I'm about to say he is second on the driver's average right
Yep.
now for average finish position behind the best driver of Martinsville over the last 7 races. Is Joey Logano. But we're not going to do that, Dick Colton. But the one I guess to ask about, and it's a fair question to ask, the best driver in the world, Kyle Larson, also very good at this track. He's third, has a win here, 4 top 5s, 5 top 10s. Can he get it done?
I think anybody can get it done here. I mean, other than Christopher Bell, I think everyone here has a good track record, and Tyler Reddick, of course. So Toyota not the best at this track, I suppose. Hamlin's just always good at this track, home track, and whatnot. So I think absolutely everyone just has a chance. It's just who brings the best stuff.
I'm going to say Bell does have a win here, though, in his career.
Yep.
In the Cup Series?
Yes, Christopher Bell has
2000
won.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. That's the
2022.
walk-off win. Right.
Yeah,
So, yeah, Bell's just fine here as well. So, yeah, I think absolutely with the win in your in system, everyone has a chance to get the win here at Martinsville and, put their name into the Phoenix. And a lot of times this is a good indicator for how that Phoenix race is going to go. I predicted Blaney was going to win that race because – the Fords looked good at the short tracks all year long. So keep that in mind for your championship predictions of who performs the best at Martinsville, because it's it's a short track, same thing, but it's also the same package that they'll be running at Phoenix. So
Yeah, I mean, especially with the drivers below the cut line, though. Kyle Larson, I mean, I definitely feel like he has a legitimate chance to go out there and win and punch his ticket to Phoenix. And let's be honest, though, the dude does not have a bad racetrack at all. I mean, he can run good anywhere. But the rest of these guys, though, Hamlin, Elliott, and Blaney, like I mentioned, they're really good at short tracks.
How comparable? 'Cause you guys are bigger fans on this. How comparable is the April race to the race now? Is the track different? Is it similar? Because looking at it, this was the track, and now I remember that race very well. It went Byron, Larson, Elliott 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously Byron got to win that day. Everything else, Larson seemed to dominate with 53 points. So I guess my question is, how comparable or how useful is the knowledge from April to the track now? And I guess it'll be November.
So I think the main difference is just having a year of, not a year, but about half a year of development in between. So you have all adjustments have been made, upgrades have been made. You've gone. Just other teams will get better throughout the year, and you have more. April is still fairly early, young in the season, so other teams are still figuring things out. So I would say there's a difference in weather too, probably. I don't know, with the global warming, who knows at this point, but I would say the main difference is just you'll have a team that has a slow start, doesn't quite have their short track package down yet, and they go through the season, they figure things out. So I think that's going to be, it's just time. It is really the main difference, and that absolutely can make a difference from spring to fall.
Can you repeat that question again?
I was just asking if you knew the difference in like maybe the weather or, as Colton said, basically you have 6 or 7 months in between the races. How important was April's results to what's going to happen this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, when I look at Hendrick Motorsports, for example, like William Byron and Chase Elliott, though, I mean, obviously they ran really good in the spring race, though. So I feel like when they look back at those races, though, that knowledge is going to be beneficial heading into a really good import. And I can't talk for some reason. A good playoff race in Martinsville. So I feel like that's going to be beneficial for sure.
Yeah. I would say the one thing is you look at Hendrick, they had a great race there, but throughout the summer they were kind of all over the place. So other teams started figuring stuff out, and that's the big thing. We're in the playoffs now, where every team is bringing their best car. They have the not just what that specific team has figured out, but what the teammates have figured out, and it's a team effort really going into this race. So.
And then I guess my last question would be, and I'll throw it to you, Ben, first.
Yep.
Colton mentioned Toyota doesn't do great here. They've come up with a win, but it doesn't do great here. Could we really see Denny Hamlin left out of the top 4?
I mean, I don't think so, to be honest with you, because I mean, Martinsville is his playground. I mean, it's one of his go-to tracks, so I wouldn't count Denny Hamlin out yet.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously, you're the biggest hater of Hamlin, so go ahead.
No, I'm the biggest Logano hater, but no, absolutely, I think so. Like it's just we could see a world where Christopher Bell doesn't make it into the next round. That's just how this playoff system works. So saying that anybody's a lock without having that win next to their name is just kind of ludicrous to me. So anybody can get in, anybody can get out.
Fair enough. I'm out of questions now for that one because I mean it's been a really fun year. NASCAR has absolutely delivered. I'm looking forward to these last 2 races. It's kind of sad to see it go, but it's also the shortest off season I feel like in all sports, and it's literally a blink and the Super Bowl's over. Okay, NASCAR's back, so it won't be long. It won't be gone long, and I'm sure at least the 3 of us will continue to talk about it in our own time.
Yeah.
Well. It is such a shame that we have to end the season at Phoenix, though.
Yeah.
Wish we could get, dude. Imagine Homestead, man. Imagine Homestead as the championship race.
I mean, just looking at that race over the weekend, though, especially with that last lap, I feel like Homestead needs to be the championship race again.
But it's going away, right, from the playoffs because it's getting repaved. Which does that scare you at all? Because I think we've talked about that at all. Talked about it a little bit.
Pretty bad track record NASCAR has with the good old. Repave, but hopefully they don't mess it up too bad. I heard they're not doing as invasive of a repave on this, but you never know. They tend to like to shoot themselves in the foot like that. But all right, let's go ahead. We have failed at all of our Final Fours, I think, to this point. So Let's go ahead and give one last go. We have half the field of the Final Four is already figured out. That's okay, though, because we're going to figure out the other two here. So who do you have making it in? Do you have a winner? Do you have it just staying the same? Who is your Final Four prediction going into Martinsville?
All right, so I obviously got Tyler Reddick and Joey Logano as they're both locked in with wins. My third driver, I'm going with Christopher Bell, and for the second year in a row, he's in a must-win situation, and I think he will punch his ticket to Phoenix. Give me the champ, Ryan Blaney.
For me, obviously, again, Reddick, Logano are the obvious two because they're automatically in. However, I am going to go with the best driver in the world. I think Larson will find a way in via points. However, the winner, and I don't see it not happening. I'm going to say Denny Hamlin finds a way into the playoffs, and we get Reddick, Logano, Larson, and Hamlin in the finals.
So you see Kyle Larson making up a 36-point gap in one race?
It could be a possibly really, 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 really bad race for Christopher Bell.
No, I got Christopher Bell making it into the Final Four, because the other thing is Christopher Bell is possibly the most clutch driver in NASCAR. He is maybe the Kevin Harvick of NASCAR. That dude finds ways to make it to the next round. Of NASCAR, yeah.
Wouldn't Kevin Harvick be the Kevin Harvick of NASCAR?
Thank you, Garrett. I meant of like today's NASCAR. I missed a part there, but great point there. But no, Bell is probably the Kevin Harvick of today, and I think he absolutely finds a way to at least survive with a 20 or 36-point gap. Or no, I guess the way this is set up, it is 29 above the cut line. So I was trying to add his gap. I thought it was above William Byron. But anywho, 29-point gap, I absolutely think he'll be fine. And then it comes down to the winner, who will be Chase Elliott from Dawsonville, Georgia. He loves this track. He almost got his first win here. No, I guess I can't. I just can't make a pick. We'll see on Sunday.
I got a quick comment on that Chase Elliott pick. So obviously he comes into Martinsville, great track for him, but this is another driver that's been in this position before. If you can remember, in 2020, he went into Martinsville in a must-win situation, and he goes on and does it. And you know what happened the next race, Colton?
I might remember. I don't know. My memory gets a little fuzzy when my driver wins a championship, baby.
Yep, 2020.
Who even is your favorite driver?
Bubba?
Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Oh, yes, my favorite current NASCAR driver.
I mean, no, you asked me my favorite driver. He is my favorite driver ever. He's literally my favorite athlete ever. I mean, if we really want to go on that, by far, I mean, my nickname growing up in football, literally on the back of my helmet, the Intimidator. I was obsessed with this dude. My basement, like the man cave, blah, 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 was all Earnhardt stuff because me and my dad were obsessed with him. Now, I will admit, I cried like a baby the day he died.
Yeah.
I still remember everything that happened and where I was, who I was with, everything. So, yeah, no, Dale will forever be my favorite. It doesn't matter whether he's racing or not racing, because if there is a heaven, he is racing in heaven, absolutely destroying everyone who was up there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dale forever.
You're not wrong.
Dwayne Wade's statue could cross up Dale Earnhardt on the court, just saying.
That statue was terrifying.
Yeah, that
Holy
is terrifying.
cow.
That is terrifying.
What?
I would just say the greatest
transition.
the greatest athlete ever, like of all athletes. I don't know, but he's a good athlete.
I'm pretty sure I said my favorite athlete. If I said great,
You said favorite.
because I mean, if we really want to go greatest athlete of all time is Deion Sanders, but that's besides the point.
That's far off the topic, but
That could be a discussion we can have though.
I don't think it's that homer of a take because Chase Elliott's been good. You just like twisting the knife though. I know.
Oh, absolutely.
I
mean, there's nothing on this planet that I love more than making fun of Colton.
You just better hope that Chase Elliott doesn't win this race because you will not hear the end
What's
of
really
it.
going to be great when Joey Logano passes Chase Elliott on the last lap.
Oh.
And I think he's actually looking for that tape. I should probably leave. I don't know what he's...
Chase Elliott wins.
Oh, boy.
No.
Oh, no, boy.
I'm pretty sure that gets us kicked off YouTube. Let's not do
That's
that.
why I made sure Garrett didn't take it.
Yeah, no. No, honestly, I would literally fear for us that that next day because one, I just called it, so he'd blame it me for putting in the universe. But like, can you imagine if Joey Logano passed Chase Elliott on the last lap? Like Colton celebrating, like somehow like Chase Elliott ran out of gas and Logano had enough gas.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna hurt me.
It's okay.
I really need to stop.
And also, can you imagine what if one of these 4 championship drivers, like say for instance, it's Reddick and Logano with 5 laps to go. Just imagine one of them pulls an Austin Dillon, if you can recall my little Richmond rant.
Man, I mean, when it comes down to it, it's going to be depending. Is somebody willing to take that chance and bump anybody anymore?
Yeah.
Colton is really having trouble coping down there. I'm really worried about him. I think I put a nightmare in his head.
It's okay.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get him up. Purdue basketball. Oh, he's moving. He's moving.
It's okay. It's okay. When Chase Elliott wins, Colton will wheel in his Chase Elliott bed and gloat over all of you. So
Yeah. He was saying how you're gonna wheel into bed and gloat all over us once.
Your Chase Elliott themed bed and gloat all over us.
Hey, Colton, just real quick. I was just telling Josh, what if somebody pulls an Austin Dillon? Can you imagine if Joey Logano pulls an Austin Dillon move on Chase Elliott? Oh, back under the table you go.
I just got him out of there. What else can I do? Just college basketball. Monday.
Oh, there he is.
Okay.
Monday.
Oh man, it's so close, and that's one thing I cannot wait for because we're talking about to go some games, and we're looking forward to some NKU basketball. We're looking forward to you're looking forward to Kentucky. You're looking forward to Purdue. I'm looking forward to my teams. College basketball just makes the world a better place. It's
definitely.
always fun games. You always got the upsets every night. It's just a college experience of what it's supposed to be, and I can't wait to find those stories that make college basketball, like we have this year with football. Of unfortunately, I'm going to bring up his name, but Grayson McCall, just giving him his flowers for how good of a college athlete he was. Ashton Genty and what he's doing, and how loyal he's been to Boise State, and we're getting cut off, gentlemen. So
Finally, I've been waiting for that music.
Alrighty, well, it's the 2-minute warning time. So, gentlemen, I'm gonna put you in your place on this one. Week 1 NBA MVP, Colton.
Anthony Davis.
Same here, Anthony Davis.
I might be crazy to say this, but I'm gonna say Paulo Banchero.
That's what
yeah.
I was going to say.
I was gonna
It's
say
somebody
Paolo
else.
too.
I mean, what he did that to just a night ago was unbelievable.
It's tough to drop 50 in the NBA.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Come up with a question about college football playoff reveal. Well, gentlemen, I got one. If you were a team on the outside looking in, who do you think the biggest threat is to making the college football playoff? Like, what team that is out there, maybe not winning the conference right now?
You're saying like if it's a team that's not currently in the top 12?
Correct. Like, not in the top 12.
Is Notre Dame in the top 12?
Yes. I have the bracket pulled up if you want me to rattle it off real quick.
Yes, that would be great.
All right, so the top 4 seeds, Oregon 1, Georgia 2, Miami 3, BYU 4. That's what it's looking like currently with the current AP poll. 5 seed Penn State will play 12 seed Boise State. 8 seed Tennessee will play 9 seed Notre Dame. 7 seed Texas will play 10 seed Texas A&M, which that would be fun. And 6 seed Ohio State will play 11 seed Clemson. So your first 3 teams on the bubble are going to be Iowa State, Indiana, and Alabama.
My answer is Iowa State.
Fair.
I would say Iowa State too, for sure.
I'm going to go way outside the line, and I think they could still do it. I would not want to play that Colorado team. So staying with the Big 12. And then what about you, Garrett, since you know it is college football?
I'll tell you what's going to happen. Indiana is going to get snubbed from these first.
So next question.
They're going to. Would you hold on? They're going to get Curtis Rourke back. They're going to blow little brother out of the water, and they're going to get left off, and they're going to be pissed.
Next question.
All right. What matchup are you most looking forward to in college basketball week 1, Ben?
I mean, obviously, I'm looking forward to seeing Kentucky going up against our NKU rival, Wright State, but I'm actually looking forward to seeing Baylor and Gonzaga. Top 10 matchup.
I'll be tuning in for sure. That's like the first Big 10
big
top 10.
Top 10.
Monday night, 10 o'clock.
Oh, Monday? I thought it was on Tuesday. Oh, well, I'll be watching regardless. I don't care when it is. But, yeah, my pick, NKU versus Purdue. Hopefully you want to see it live. Norse, Boilers. Let's go.
Me, it's simple. Carolina's going to the field house. Carolina, Kansas basketball. It's what college basketball is made about, people.
Yep.
And then, last but not least, we all kind of gave our answer already,
Yep.
but who
Chase
is
Elliott.
going to win Martinsville?
Ryan Blaney. Second year in a row, walk-off win, goes to Phoenix.
And I got Denny Hamlin. So that's it, Colton. You take over now.
Yeah, that's such a fun next week of sports here. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It really is.
Let's go right ahead and close this show out. Thank you all for listening. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 50 subscribers. Once we get there, we will give away a $50 Fanatics gift card. So be sure to subscribe to be put into that. Also, follow us on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at NorseBW Pod. Check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And thank you all for coming on to the show. Thank you for coming on to the show. Thank you, Garrett, for your hard work over there in the director's chair. And thank you, Bill and NK Community Services, for all that you do, making this show better each and every week. We will see you all in the next one. Peace.